That's the good stuff. And then we get to choose who we let into our weird little worlds. You're not perfect, sport. Let me save you the suspense. This girl you met, she isn't perfect either. But the question is whether or not you're perfect for each other. That's the whole deal. That's what intimacy is all about.
Why don't you love me, Jenny? I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
So what?
So it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be really hard. And we're gonna have to work at this every day, but I wanna do that because I want you. I want all of you, forever, you and me, every day. Will you do something for me? Please? You just picture your life for me? 30 years from now, 40 years from now? What's it look like? If it's with that guy, go. Go! I lost you once. I think I could do it again. If I thought it's what you really wanted. But don't you take the easy way out.
What easy way? There is no easy way. No matter what I do, somebody gets hurt.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
On like roller coasters, you know I can't read your mind. Yeah, you always seem to keep me second guessing. I've been walking a while, you got me tripping. I'm tired of what you...
Hi, everybody.
So it'll. Oh God! All right. I'm sorry. We tried a second time. We've set up a second event. So if anybody's watching on Facebook, or I'm going to put it in the actual, I'm going to share in the Facebook because it has a post. The video is not showing. Can you just banter for a minute?
Okay.
While I do this.
Hi. Okay, so he's trying to work out the kinks. We've been really working on this for, I guess, a couple hours now. So we started off just like jumping into it. It seemed like it flowed pretty well the first time. Second time, yeah. Now it's like there's a few more issues that are popping up. But it's gonna work itself out. That's why we're doing this 3 days back to back to kind of get used to the groove of it and then get the tech kinks out. So Gabe's working on that right
Yes.
now.
So we're so yeah, as you can see, I just posted that right now on Facebook on the actual. See, look, this is what's driving me nuts. The video says it's not working. I just posted this comment on Facebook on the actual post, and it says the video is not available on Facebook. So if you want to watch it live, if you want to watch it on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Twitter, we are live there.
Yes.
So we're gonna work out the kinks for whatever reason. This is live streaming, folks. This is part of the tech part of trying to get everything squared away. So we invited 500 people on Facebook. And
so now they have to jump on some other media if they want to hear us talk.
So if you want to watch on social media, please go, and we will have a YouTube page set up here pretty quickly. I want to start hammering out all the details of building out the social medias and just about everything else for the show within the next week. So there's going to be a lot on my plate, but it's something that I was been focusing on and ready to do for a while. So I'm now just trying to get this is why I say putting in the reps when you start live streaming and getting all the issues worked out, because that way, once you start doing it more on a regular basis, you kind of eliminate, or at least the probability of eliminating any more technical glitches, things like that. It's the whole purpose of why when I start testing and going live before I actually launch, this is kind of like what they call a soft opening at a restaurant, right? You're you want to work out all the bugs, so you invite people and then you do your grand opening, right? That's how it usually works. So it's the same approach that I take when doing live streaming. I want to work out all the bugs, get things like cross all our I's and dot our T, or is that backward? Yeah.
Cross the I's.
Yes. Dot the I's and cross the T's and kind of work out that way so we can get that like set up and hopefully moving forward in a direction. So I don't know. It was a little bit rough trying to get everything set up and hopefully worked out so that when we do this on our more, I guess when we set up a schedule and we'll be able to do this on a regular schedule, we won't hopefully run into any more of these kind of issues. It's usually just the beginning. It's the jitters of getting started again and doing live streaming. So, but hey, you know what? I gotta commend you, baby. When I like sat there, and I've never done that before, I asked you to like vamp for a minute and like talk, and you were like, "Yeah, okay, I got it." So that was kind of cool. I've never had the opportunity unless I've been like with another like seasoned live streamer, and they saw that I was having tech problems, and then they just jump in as a host because they've done it before. So they're just like, "Oh yeah, cool, okay, he's having problems, blah blah blah," and they will take off. So you handled it pretty good, babe.
Thank you.
So we're getting we're getting our sea legs under us right now. But okay, and this is what worries me is that I don't always know like if the tech's working, the tech is working, even though I check sometimes. And part of the whole reason of wanting to do this and getting it right is so that I know that people can watch and tune in. So,
yes. Making sure that it is actually working would be nice because I don't know. I don't see any comments from anybody yet. Like I know Dan said he was coming, but that's when it was on Facebook. So I don't know if he jumped on to LinkedIn or Twitter or YouTube.
Yeah, so it is working.
Because I don't see any
Let me see.
comments. So I don't know.
I'm gonna. Oh my God! See, this is what drives me nuts.
That's okay.
Look.
Oh wait! There we see one. Okay, yay! Somebody can see us. So.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we can start talking now.
Oh, hello. I think that's Usama. Hello, Usama. It's been a while, buddy, but I am back to doing the live stream thing. I got a partner now. Just walking around Sam's. Oh, okay, cool.
Ooh, I like Sam's. Yeah, that's where I got my angel from my front yard. Got it on clearance for Christmas.
Oh, this is Jay Pineapples. Okay.
Jay Pineapples.
So this is Jaime Pena. So he's another live stream creator. He has his own show on Facebook that he does, the Social Undistancing Show.
Social Undistancing. Oh my God, that sounds so interesting.
Yeah, he does it with two partners. So he's got two other people that have, and they started back at this almost the same time I did as far as like live streaming during the pandemic, and they've been doing it for a while. They did it pretty much like I did when they started out. They were doing it every day.
Okay.
So they were doing it every day during the pandemic. And of course, they slowed down because people went back to work, like things started to open up again. But
right.
I still continued with the lunacy of doing it every day. Not everybody else did. But hats off. They still do it, man. And they do it, I think it's on Wednesday nights. So
I started, like, we haven't really talked about it a whole lot, but, you know, I started my own YouTube channel. I thought I was going to be, like, famous. Making all these videos and stuff. So I did a few, like I did one on how like you can't spoil a child by picking them up. So I started, you know, making videos and then kind of didn't continue that. So but I didn't have all this fancy equipment that Gabe has either. I was just using my cell phone.
Yeah, so
yeah, he does have a good memory. Man, he knows like all kinds of stuff. He'll be telling me names of like artists and stuff, singers. He'll just hear like the beginning of a song and he knows the song name, the person who sung it. I'm like, I have no clue. That melody sounds familiar, but I have no idea who sings that song. Unless it's like Madonna or Prince or Michael Jackson. Like I know them from the 80s.
So yeah, it's one of the one of the things that I've tried to like really concentrate on, because I don't want to forget a name or a face, especially when you have Like I'm in the sales field, so like you want to be able to remember a customer or a person that you're talking to. So you try
the
to
year the song was released. Wow, you're amazing.
yeah, so great memory. Yeah, I do remember. And then
Cybersecurity, that's cool.
yeah, so
That's a good one
on
too.
LinkedIn. And Kidney Trails is just Mr. my friend Anthony Reed. It's funny how I know all their like who they are, like Facebook.
Hi, Kidney Charles.
Yeah, so
And what's their name?
Anthony Ant Reed is what is. Some call him Ant.
Yeah, I saw that he was gonna.
He was gonna attend one of our things,
Yeah.
so it's not. Yes, LinkedIn is not commenting. That's what I was just telling her why I was going nuts, because it's like the tech. Sometimes it's on our fault. Sometimes it is dealing with the tech that's happening on other social media, and LinkedIn is notorious for having its technical problems and trying to comment.
Oh wow.
So I was hoping that Facebook would be a backup. Facebook.
No, Facebook didn't work.
Maybe you can if you can comment on your. See, that's why I always say have a backup. So that's why I set up like YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, because even if they don't, and it gave you 36 seconds and then it cut out. I know that. Trust me.
Yeah.
Well, that happened. Yes. No. But I don't understand. Is that the day before we went live and it streamed the whole damn stream. So I got no clue why it's like just jacking up today. I don't know. It just doesn't want to work.
So the only one that's letting you comment is YouTube now?
Right now, if you're watching on YouTube, you can head over to Twitch at the Stream Tornado over there, or on Twitter at the same name. I try to keep everything sort of just one dimensional so you don't get lost in finding me. So yeah. If you're watching on YouTube, you can head over to the Gabe Little Experience on YouTube, and you can catch the video there as well if you want to go comment. That's why I left the comment there that's not working on Facebook to come and join over here.
Okay.
All right. So now I guess that we got that out of the way, and we're just going to go steaming forward as best we possibly can.
Yeah. Do y'all like our matching shirts
No.
and jackets?
Okay.
Yeah. We try to get matching Bucky shirts all the time. We have a collection of them, and we try to wear them in public and, dress alike. We have, brown boots on too. So
Yeah. Or hey, we're just that couple. Like we're going to match, we're going to wear it, and no shame. Even if it's pink, salmon, whatever you want to call the color, I'm okay with it. I'm very secure in my masculinity, so I'm okay with it.
yes.
Okay. What I wanted to talk about, and part of the reason that we did this, is that we have been live streaming the last 2 days. So if you haven't caught us, because we were doing it extremely late Friday night,
Yes.
and Friday night into Saturday morning,
Right.
and then Saturday night into Sunday morning. So we were doing it pretty late, but we were doing other things as well, where we were like, I was setting up the build out, the tech, trying to get everything in order so that we could actually do this, because we want to live stream and want to be able to share what we're talking about and what we want to build as a community into the world, and just allow everybody who wants to be a part of it to come along for the ride. I mean, it's how I've always constructed any of my programs. So,
yeah. Do you like the brick wall we put in?
Yeah, we put in a brick wall.
We built it.
Yeah, we put a brick wall back behind us because we were like, we had other things set up, and it was kind of weird and funky, and I don't know. We're gonna work it. We're gonna play with this a little bit and just see if sometimes switching the setup might help. I don't know. This is the fun part about doing a live stream, is that you can explore limitless possibilities of what you want to do and create, and just how you stage everything. So this is our preliminary run through, and some of the things that we still have yet to work out, and we're so excited to do this, is getting a show name, right?
Yes. So we've been tossing some names around and thinking like maybe we could put different titles for a little while and see which one is more attractive to people. But yeah, because I was talking to him, we went to Goodwill today after church, And I love looking through the books, and you can always find like some kind of interesting book to read. And so, but I look at the titles and I read every single title. And if the title stands out to me, then I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued. Let me see what this book is about. And so then I'll look a little deeper. But if the title doesn't stick out, like I don't typically pick it up. So title is important. So we're trying to figure out what to call it that is interesting, and we can find a cheap domain name. We're not trying to spend 2 to 3 grand on a domain name. So yeah, we're trying to come up with a topic for it. We tried that, and then we came up with a title called Love Bites, and we're like, that's kind of cool because love sometimes does bite, but then it goes both ways because, like, I mean, I just like to bite him sometimes.
Also,
because I love him that much. I don't know why. I just like, will just, bite his shoulder or something.
so
And so I was like, that's kind of cool.
so we will have things to sell. We're gonna have swag. We're gonna create swag ourselves.
Yes.
We will have stuff if you wanna. Once we figure out that, see, that's the key part is getting the name, because then you can start branding and
know. We need a good
colors and everything
name.
else to kind of build around. So this is where we are at a standstill.
Yeah, but we found out Love Bites is already taken. So yeah, we need another cool something that maybe has a double meaning.
Yeah. So we're trying to sell different things apart from just ourselves. Because again, when you create a community, you want to start doing things that are more expansive, as far as like putting out workbooks, courses, all these things that you can go. But before you can even do all of that, and before you can even imagine it or putting it into maybe a action plan, you got to have a name to go back there and sell it.
Yeah. So we've been in the planning process for this for like months. Like we started talking about it even like early on into our dating relationship. He was telling me, you know what? I had this idea. And that's where it starts, is a idea. And so he's like, I had this idea to talk about love, but I don't know a whole lot about it. So I was going to ask the experts and do my whole show around love and just, try to get more knowledge, because I like to study and I like to know more. But now I'm actually in love, so I'm starting to understand it more. And every day it just grows. Like every day I love him more. And so we've learned, a lot about love just being together. And so we're also reading about it. We're getting more knowledge about it. We've brainstormed. We came up with topic ideas. So we've been planning and talking about this for months. So it's not just something that we're starting on a whim. We've been doing the planning process. So part of it is coming up with our topic or a name or title, and then just kind of talking about it and getting people interested, so that we can build that audience and eventually start doing it more full time.
Yes. So just real quick, this is why I always love the people that kind of show up here and the things that they share.
Yes, bite marks.
So Anthony was like, I came up with mine.
My name,
hiking. So
hiking.
kidney trails. I get it. And the kidney part comes from what he talks about and sharing as far as like kidney transplants. He's got a foundation. He does a lot of work like that for diabetes, I think, as well. So it's kind of awesome. Workbooks, courses, bite marks, feet. Yes. Thank you, Jaime. Makes sense. But yeah, part of it is where we have, because we have lots of ideas and content and things that we're going to further develop and dive deeper into. We do want to get into all that stuff. But part of it is, of course, like I said, getting a good name, figuring out all the logistics of how we want things to start doing. Because I'm going to start building a LinkedIn page, a YouTube channel, everything built around what we're about to start doing, a website. But I got to have a name before I can even jump. And we're getting there. It's funny, but it kind of correlates like with what her daughter lives with us. Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? Skylar, yes. I don't know why I drew a blank. Did it happen?
Don't you love that name? You know where I got it from, right?
No.
Okay. All right. So I went to school, elementary school, with this boy named Skylar, and I just always was fascinated with his name. And I was like, I've never heard that name before. And then I was 9 months pregnant. I didn't know if I was going to have a girl or a boy. So I thought, like, okay, if I have a boy, I'm naming him Skylar. Well, I watched the movie Good Will Hunting, which is where we got our intro line from with Robin Williams. And the guy or the girl that Matt Damon was dating, her name was Skylar.
It's played by
And
Minnie
so,
Driver.
yes. So once I found out that her name was a girl, I was like, okay, ticket. Like, I can either name, if I have a boy or a girl, their name is gonna be Skylar.
So very much like what she's going through now, they don't have a name decided. So it will come to a point where, like, if you don't decide a name, baby's going to show up in 9 months regardless. And you're going to come out and what are you going to call it? Jane Doe? I mean, you have to come to a decision of a name. So I think that's where we are. We're here. We're getting close to birth. We got to come up with a name. And I don't know. That one's kind of dicey.
Well,
not
you only fans.
That's kind of crazy. Same kind of process. Sounds like Napoleon Hill when he was looking for the name of his best-selling book, which Think and Grow Rich was the name of his book. So I don't know. No, we're figuring it out. We're at a crossroads for now, but part of it.
That one, Love Chapters. I don't know.
Love Chapters. That sounds good. I mean, we can. I mean, the thing is that we do want to be able to correlate having a website and being able to buy a .com name to go along with it. So if we even come up with a name and
we have to keep looking on there to see if like names are available because we're like, oh yeah, that sounds good. No, it's not available.
Mm-hmm. So we are trying to build it around the concept of love. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I think that's going to be the hard sticking point. So hold on, let me read this right here. Distracted a little bit, but
do you know what his agent said when he was going to title his book?
No, what did he say? Share it with us, please. Now we're in suspense. But yeah, that was the whole idea when we wanted to do things. Somebody's here, or somebody walked in.
Did they walk in?
Yeah, I think somebody walked in or walked out. I don't know.
Okay.
We still have the Christmas ringer. Well, she had it set all last year, so why break the streak, right? No, we can. We'll change it.
It's still set as Christmas.
Yes.
On my phone. Use your noodle and get what? Hold on, go back up.
Okay, let me go back. This is the comment he said.
Use your noodle and get the boodle.
It's kind of crazy.
That's what he said? That's what
he's saying? I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, love your OnlyFans.
Well,
I don't know if we want to say
the OnlyFans. Yeah.
I don't want to steal from their,
their thing.
Yeah, that's kind of their thing.
So I don't know. We're gonna look around and kick around a few more ideas, but we do have to come up with something pretty quickly so I can start working and developing on all the other stuff because it's going to be a big part of setting up our YouTube channel, our page, and just moving forward from there because we do want to start creating the podcast episodes and just getting everything.
Foot traffic would be insane.
Foot traffic.
For a title, foot traffic?
No.
Or just foot traffic on your page?
On the page is what he's saying. So the foot traffic would be like, people would be like, oh my God, you're not your own. So, I mean, I am open to a lot of things. But I think the thing that I really wanted to have a nice ring to it. I've been lucky enough because look, I'm gonna tell you from my own personal experience. When I started my first live stream and podcast, I call it the made from scratch broadcast people were like, man, that's a mouthful. Like, you need to shorten it into something else. So it was, because after a while, it's like, hey, welcome to the Made from Scratch broadcast, and like talking about it. And people were like, man, what's the name of your show? And I would tell them, and they were like, man, that seems like, I don't know, maybe you should like simplify it a little bit. So somebody told me, and I took it into account, and I kind of came up with an acronym. I came up with an acronym for my second season that I did it. So I just simply call it MFSB Live. But then people were like more questioning, like, what the hell does MFSB mean? So when I did my third season, I called it just Friday Night Live. I was just very general with it, because I was like, I didn't think about it. And then when I thought about my fourth season, I did Unfiltered Live, because I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about, how I wanted to bring on my guest, what the intention behind what I wanted to discuss. And I wanted to be very unfiltered. So when people could come on and ask me, what is your show about? It's like, well, it's about you and sharing your story unfiltered. Like, there's no thing you can't share on my show. So I don't know.
Yeah. He's saying, I think how we run. Welcome to the social undistancing show. Freaking mouthful.
Freaking mouthful. Well, but
I like the social undistancing.
Okay.
Like
but that dealt with what was going on currently at the time. No. So it was, we were social distancing at the point.
I like all your comments, though. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
I hope you find everything you need at the store.
That's right. Share if you find any good deals.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind finding a couple good deals at Sam's. So, all right. But yeah, that's where we are as far as what we want to start putting out into the world and what our intentions are. So, and then we were hoping today that we could get Facebook and like LinkedIn involved, where like all the people are and where most of my audience happens to be, to kind of maybe chime in and, I don't know, share their thoughts and insights on it. And
working at love to take two.
Love take two.
Thank you.
Working at love. I don't know.
Love take two.
Hey, like I said, I'm open to anything, so we'll look at it. We'll definitely look at it.
Thank you for your input.
Thank you, Anthony, for sharing those. But yeah, we just kind of want to be able to now start putting out our content and being able to start creating. And I'm excited for this endeavor that we're about to take together. It's been one of the cool things that I really enjoy, as far as like doing live streaming again and now doing it with you. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. That's like, I get to share my passion with you. Absolutely. I love it. I get excited. I had jitters before we actually came on live, and she's looking at me and she's going, "Oh my God, you're so cute." I was like,
it reminds me of like before I start teaching, sometimes I get nervous, like right before I go into teaching. It took me years. Like, I've been teaching for 14 years, and I would still have nightmares the day before. Like, I was so nervous. And like my first day of teaching, I would be shaking. Like, it was just very nerve-wracking because I had to talk in front of high school kids. And so, it was very scary, but it took many, many years for me to work out those nerves. And even now, sometimes I get nervous. Like Monday, I'm doing something different. I'm have my entire class. And I do this usually like after I've gotten to know the students, but I'm just throwing it on day one. I put all the desks, stacked them up in the corners of the classroom, and then I put all the chairs out and did a big, huge circle. So it's kind of like what was it? What was his name? One that was at shopping at Sam's.
Oh, Jaime.
So he's talking about social undistancing. So that's basically what I'm doing with them. I'm forcing them to be social. So I have them inside of a big circle, And so that's how we're going to have our talk. That's how we're going to have a discussion. And I want them to, on day one, know that it's important to make eye contact. It's important to learn these interpersonal skills. And so I'm going to be practicing with them starting on day one. So I have a whole new group of students because I teach 1 semester classes.
Yeah. You know, I'm sorry.
No, I thought you were about to say something. That's why I stopped talking.
No, go ahead. I'm still like the perfectionist in me wants to see why I'm still having problems with live streams and stuff like this, and it shouldn't be so difficult to like put this together. So I don't know.
Yeah, like he's done it a lot of times. So I think probably it's the Facebook or it's, the restream or whatever, because it was saying restream error. So something is going on their end, I think, because he put in everything. I watched him do it, set up everything. So, but yeah, so I really want to work with my students on Monday. So I'm like, okay, well, normally I just like go with the flow. I just go with it. I have my structure. I do exactly like a structured way that I have it set up. Well, I'm changing it. So anytime I make a big change, that's when I get kind of nervous because it's something new, something different, and then how I want to approach it. And so on Monday, I'm normally like, I just start asking them to ask me questions. And then I have them come up with questions that they ask each other. And then I do this like line format where they change partners. And then they talk. And then I go in the classroom and then I answer a lot of the questions that they ask me. And I'm like, you can ask me anything. So then I just eventually like start to tell them about myself throughout the semester. And that's how they get to know me. But I was like, you know what? I watched a speaker last week, and he was came to our school, and he started talking about. He was like, okay, well, let me introduce myself first. So he wears this Compton hat. He comes in, and he's like, yeah, all y'all probably judged me and thought automatically like, oh, he's, who is he coming from the Compton? Like he must have been a gangbanger or whatever. And so they prejudge based on his appearance. And so he's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, well, actually, I did. So he joined a gang, but he ended up, rising from that. He became a principal. He started like one of the best like schools where the kids weren't fighting. They had no behavior problems. And so it was a pretty motivational speech. But he talked about his background and he talked about who he was at first. And the book that I read that we talked about yesterday, we talked about it last night, called Love by Leo Buscaglia. Is that how you say his name?
Buscaglia?
Buscaglia. Yeah. So the book that I read with him, his whole like forward that I read was all about him, and it was pages. But it was really interesting getting to know who he was as a person before he starts going into the book. So you know his background, you know who he is. And even when I came on the show, Gabe's like, well, tell them about yourself. So I was like, okay. So I started, saying some of the things that I've done. So I think that, seeing that, reading that, being a part of the show and talking about who I am, like I started thinking on Monday, instead of doing what I always do before, where because I didn't want to just be like, oh, well, this is all about me kind of thing. I think it might be important for them to kind of know a little bit about my background, because why, and for my purpose, just like love with purpose. Why are we doing it? So with teaching, like, why am I a teacher? And so in order to know why I'm a teacher, you have to know who I am as a person, because I never wanted to be, a teacher. Like I didn't want to be in school. I wanted to get far, far away from school. I wanted to hurry up and graduate. Yeah, I'll go to college, but only for photography and nothing else. Like academic wise, I just wanted to get away from those classes and focus on photography. So that's what I did. And then I ended up dropping out and all of this. But, before that, I had issues. I had issues in school. I didn't want to be in school. I got in trouble. Like, there's little things that along the way shaped me to who I am and where I am now. Like, I never thought I was going to be a teacher. And so, now why is it that I do that. And my main reason and my purpose is to show them that, yeah, you might have been on this one path and that path sucks. And maybe the path you were born on is not perfect. Maybe you don't come from a house with parents that truly let you know that they love you, that they truly care about you, that they guide you, that they praise you. But there is another path that you can take. Like, you don't have to stay on that same path. You don't have to treat your kids just like you were treated. You can be on a different path. You can choose. There's millions of paths to take. And it's something that I also read in the book, the Love Book, and so I want to kind of share that with my students and talk to them about it. Because I had a student this last semester and we were talking, and I was like, I saw her outfit and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so super cute. So I was commenting on it and telling her that, and she's like, oh, thank you. Yeah, my mom told me I look like a prostitute.
Oh.
And I was like, God, these poor children. So you're not always raised with love and compassion and kindness. But it's just because that's how you're raised doesn't mean that's how you have to behave. That doesn't mean you have to stay on that path. And so that's kind of what I want to do on Monday with my students. But with the project that we're working on together with Gabe, like, it's love with purpose. And so why is it that we want to do it? And I think, a large reason is we both struggled with love. We've struggled with it in past relationships, and, how to love. And you take those tests, um, what is your love language? And you try to figure out, like, love. And so everybody has that struggle. So there's a purpose to this. We want to do it to learn, for one, to keep on learning. Because, like I was telling Gabe earlier, I get bored easy. So every job I've ever had, I got bored with. Like, I would work it, I would learn everything, I would do all these things, and then I got totally, totally bored. So, teaching has been the only job I've never, not once uttered that word. Not once have I said, my job's boring. I'll never say that. There's always a new day, a new experience, new students, new laughs, new cries, new everything. It's like constantly new. So with this, I think it's going to be amazing, like, doing this and talking about love and growing from there.
Absolutely. And even I don't know. I was looking right now. Look at this. It's not .com, but it's close.
Oh, .co.
Um,
So maybe sticking with love with purpose.
Love with purpose. What do you think about that, folks?
Love from home.
Work from home.
Relationship from home. Couple from home.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know. I don't know. Just but to what the whole intention behind what we're doing in this and everything that we want to start creating, we both have had our issues with understanding love, and I think for both of us it's delving deeper so that we get a better understanding of it, and that we can also explore it and share it with other people. I mean, we had a sermon today that our pastor was talking about, and one of the cool things that he mentioned was, love for God, love for Jesus, and understanding what that is, and loving him before everything else. So these are some of the hard hitting things that we're going to have to explore with love, with spirituality, right? With your religion, with your God, love with your partner, love with your family. Love is just, again, all encompassing. So we do want to go down that trail and really explore all avenues of love. So that's why we've been putting all these thoughts together. We want to talk from beginning to end, from the first part of courting and dating, the infatuation, the lust stage, and then getting past that, and then things into the long-term depths of what love and marriage become, and then even things like the intimacy that comes with love. I mean, there's so many things. That's why I love the topic, because there's so many different avenues you can go about dealing with when you're talking about love, not just in the sense of a male female relationship, but then it's your family, it's mother child, it's it's brother sister. There's just so many things that you can explore.
That one's cool too. Life, love, and a mic.
Hey, there you go. See,
That's a good one.
keep throwing them out there. We're gonna hit a home run at some point.
Hi, mate. Did you come back from the store?
Still watching, I guess. I love it. I love it though. That's commitment.
Yes.
No, but it's the whole idea of like how many times you keep shooting the ball when you're playing basketball and it gets cold, or when you're playing baseball and you just keep swinging until there'll come a point where you'll hit a ball out of the park. You'll do these other things, all these sport acronyms you can come up. You get knocked down, you keep getting up. There's going to be a point where you keep getting. We're going to find what it is, what we want.
Yeah, because like when it comes to love, it's a topic that even when I was reading in the book, like past sociologists, psychologists didn't even really study it. They didn't study it socially. They didn't look at, like, social scientists didn't want to touch it. It was mostly like religious people that were looking at the topic of love. And so not a lot of other people really studied or got into it. But it's such an amazing topic. And like, where does it come from? And some people say, like, oh, it's just an illusion. It's just an illusion. It's something made up. People make up that word. Like, it's not real. Like, love isn't real, but it is. Like, there's so much like truth to love. There's so many different avenues of love that we can talk about. And I just think it's fantastic. And then it was really cool and reinforcing that when we went to church today, what did he talk about? He talked about love. We didn't tell him to do that. We did not talk to our pastor and say, please teach us about love. So it's almost like, we pray too. And it's like, okay, God, this is where you're leading us. You're telling us, okay, yes, what you're doing is correct. Like, you're in our will. Like, so yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too.
That's why I said we were sitting there and I just kept gripping her hand and going, man, this is like it. Ooh, learning love.
Learning love.
LL. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still
everyone, and that's what I read too, is that nobody, just because people might say they're a love expert, but even a love expert still can learn more about love. Like, you can't stop learning about it just with anything, and nobody can know everything. Like, there's always room for growth. There's always room to learn. So it's a great topic that we're going to be getting into. But I think that I put it in there and it's LOL. Learning in love, or learning on love, learning of love. Learning of love.
It's a work in progress. No, but to your point, baby, is the fact that, as we like explore the idea of love, even like you said, love experts and people that are dating experts, there's still people, like, you have dating experts that are still single. I mean, come on. Right? You still have matchmakers who've never been married. You have individuals who go down that path, and you're like, what makes you an expert? It's the fact that, you're constantly involved in that scene, in the area around it, so you get more familiar with it. Yeah, it makes you a subject matter expert in dealing with it. So it's just going to be the same thing with us and exploring what love is. Mm-hmm. We aren't experts at it now. I don't know if we ever will, but it's the constant learning that I think really starts giving you the idea that you are an expert. It took me a while to actually say that I was a live streaming expert, because I was like, man, there's still other people or other creators that I see that do it, and they seem more polished, or they seem better at it. And it took me a while to say, you know what, but you're good at what you do too. You're an expert. Not every expert's going to know every single thing about it. Like, there's things that I know that they don't know. there's things that I've done that they haven't done. So yeah, it makes me an expert in what I do, and I wear that moniker proudly. So I
But the important thing is to keep growing from it.
yes.
So just because we're in a relationship and we love each other dearly doesn't mean that we're not going to learn more and how we can learn to love each other even more. Like that's where things go wrong, and that's where things stop and start going downhill, is when you stop growing together. You stop growing in love. You stop learning about how can I love this person more? And one of the things about love is you cannot love with an expectation. You can't love expecting, okay, if I love this person, they're going to love me back. If I do more for this person, they're going to do more for me. The more I give, the more I'm going to get. So you can't do that. Like when it comes to love, you have to love and give freely. So you're not expecting something to come back to you. Now, there is a reward. There is some stuff that does come back. You do reciprocate, or you do receive. And it's nice to reciprocate when somebody does something for you, but it's not that you're doing it, out of coercion. You're doing it out of love. Like you love that person, so you want to do more for that person. And it's something that I had to learn in our relationship, because Gabe does a lot for me. And so somebody told me like, oh my gosh, you're taking advantage of him. And so I got so sad and felt so guilty. And I was like, oh my God, like I started having a meltdown and crying, and told him like, am I taking advantage of you? Because I don't want to do that. Like I would never, ever want to take advantage of you. And so he told me like, no, I do these things because I love you. And I was like in shock, because I've never felt that before. And so when somebody does something and it's actual true love, they're not doing it to expect something back. And that's one thing I love about Gabe, is like he does a lot, but he's never like keeping score. He's never trying to see how I can get him back for something. And then I'm like, I tell him all the time, like, I think I can do more. I think I can do more. And he's like, no, you don't understand. Like, you do a lot. And I'm like, I don't even realize it. I don't realize, because I just do it. And a lot of things I do out of love, but I always feel like I'm not doing enough. And he's like, no, you do a lot too. And I'm like,
yeah, I think
okay.
that's another thing, is where when we explore this a little bit more, that's like our past, like traumas in our lives, in our relationships, and the things that we've done, that we gotta kind of understand about ourselves, like to feel that way, like to feel like, oh my God, am I taking advantage of him? That I think that's like when you place the burden, somebody else is placing their burdens and their things on upon you, and then you start questioning yourself. And I think what we have to do, and what we're doing here now, is just to become more confident and solidify that we know that this is just us doing things for the love of one another, and not just because, what we're trying to do to get ahead of the other person, yeah, look, thank you so much, man. Thank you, Anthony, for tuning in. Thank you. Oh, that's Anthony.
Or Anthony.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony. So yeah, and plus we're gonna have other things that happen in here. How
I did, but we kind of slowed down on the tacos, both of us, because we put on a little extra weight.
love weight, love weight.
Love weight. Yeah, I was making him some tacos, that's for sure. And myself. But we decided together, because we were like, we love each other so much and we love this food. And so we've been, hey, is that Dan?
That is
Hi,
Dan Raw.
Dan. Yeah.
That is Dan Raw.
So we were eating a lot of food. It was called like our love weight that we added.
Yeah.
So I was in shock and like looked at the scale, and I'm like, I still love myself and I love him and we're happy as is, but we talked about it and we're like, you know what? We love each other so much. We can still love each other and like be healthy too. Like that's a good idea. And so we're like, yeah, that is a good idea. So I spent a month reading books about how like best to lose weight. I read the South Beach diet. And so this is a diet that came out 20 years ago. It came out the same time I was on another diet plan, but I'd kind of heard about it, but I never like looked into it. So I bought the book. Gabe said that, or he agreed. No, we talked about it, and he had actually been on eating right and healthy before he met me and was losing weight. And so was I. But then we got together and we were like, who cares anymore? Like, we love each other and let's just eat. So no, we talked about being healthy because diabetes runs in his family. So
yes. So
he did not want to. He does not want to die early now. So we decided we want to live longer because we really love each other. So yeah, it was a joint decision. But the South Beach diet, like that came out 20 years ago, and it's still like the diet you could still do because you can buy the books at Goodwill for cheap. And back then, you know, they costed more. So I bought I think 5 books on it. So I read for a month and got prepared and bought all this stuff. I made a list and we started January 1st and I've already lost 10 pounds. So this diet works. And since the 6-week body makeover, I have not been on a diet that actually worked. So this one is working really, really good. So we're sticking to it.
Sticking to it, folks. And yeah, I love some of the comments. Thank you, Dan, for that one. That was kind of, you know, I've been trying to figure out how I can watch you both.
You are, Dan. I love you, Dan.
Still a man with this.
We have to both meet you in person.
Right.
Like, we're definitely going to schedule a trip to go meet you.
Yes.
I love your humor.
Yeah, we do. We love you, Dan. And then Jaime says, but living without tacos, is that really living?
Hey, eventually we can have like the low carb tortillas. They still taste good. Like, even the cauliflower tortillas tasted pretty decent.
They were decent. To be honest, it's it's a little bit different, but that's how, again, when you go take a dive into watching your health and doing the things that you need to do to, I mean, plus, you know, I love to see myself on video. So I want to look good. I mean, I want to, part of it is, hey, I do want to get on video and say, man, that is,
I like looking at myself on video too when I lost weight. So I'm over here all fluffy. So I'm like, it's okay. But yeah, it's a lot nicer when we're going to be thinner. So hopefully you'll see us shrinking. You can keep us accountable for that too. Yeah. Be like, oh. No Twinkies for you.
Oh my God. Dan Roth, I love you. I'm glad this is YouTube. I'm assuming the only
for show about love, I'm assuming the only Mexican will be the pink taco. What's pink taco?
Wow.
Do you like our shirts, Dan? They're matching. Aren't they cute? Do you ever wear matching shirts with your wife?
Yeah. And Jaime says, como que low carb?
Cauliflower.
Cali cake. That's right. Even our bird's like,
our bird is laughing.
What the hell are y'all talking about?
He's over there dancing and laughing.
It is. Diet matching shirts, no taco.
Jaime, that's why it's called love.
It is. Look, if I can drag this woman onto a live stream with me, that is, to me, that is love. That is love, to say, okay, she's brave enough to come.
Were all
the
other women scared?
Well, I don't know if they were scared, but the thing was, is like, knowing the people that I hang around with and the audience that I have, like, I was always fearful, like, oh my God, they're going to be like, these people are nuts. They're insane.
Who?
Any of the women that I want, like,
the women would say the people were insane that you're talking to? No,
my thought process was like, I was thinking for them. Not that I should, but I was like, how do I introduce people to my audience? Like, and even if I had somebody to come on and say, are they brave enough to even get behind a microphone and talk?
I didn't used to be when I was younger. I was real nervous. Like, I've been on TV 3 times, and the first time I was like so scared. I was trying to talk, and everything came out backwards. And so the second time got better, and the third time was really fun. So I actually liked it. I enjoyed it. I was like, yeah, this is fun. So I don't mind.
I love their comments too. He's like,
yeah,
wait,
we're a couple.
Paul, of course we are.
Yeah, we'll be married one day.
I think he's Joe.
Y'all married.
Yeah.
yet.
Head down that path. Head down that path. That's why it says more news to come. Read a scroll at the bottom. No, but honestly, as far as like how I think that's the part about where we're gonna love talking about this is the commitment that we make to each other. Right? I mean, I don't feel any kind of weird way of saying, okay, let's wear a matching shirt.
I was wearing this one day and we were at the thrift store and all of a sudden he walks up to me and he's wearing one too. And I'm like, where'd you get that? And he said, oh, I just found it over here. So he went out and found a jacket to match mine so that we could be Twinkies that day.
I love it. No, she is his dominatrix. This is very much a 50 Shades of Bull. Yeah, type. Hey. Again,
I've never read the book or watched the movies.
So, 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
But you know what?
But my daughter has.
But you know what? It was a bestseller. It turned into a movie. Why? Because women love the idea of love and they love reading romance and all the other stuff. So why not for us to explore it as well? So yeah, I'm heading down that point of like, I was the one that was the initial driving force behind doing this because, again, my reasoning was that I wasn't quite always understanding of what love is. So I wanted to really talk about it and put it out into the world. And you know what? So, all joking aside, some of the things that you guys are putting in the comments are going to be some of the things that will be discussed. That's the part about intimacy that we're going to explore as well. We're not going to go and experiment with it, but we are going to talk about some of the things that go on because part of intimacy in every relationship, and you guys know if you're married and or if you've been in any kind of long-term thing with somebody, that sex is something that has to be part of the conversation. And
it's taboo, and especially in America, to talk about it. Like, I talk about sex in my school and my classes, and I tell them straight up, I'm like, I know this is a taboo topic, but sometimes you got to talk about it. So I'm not afraid to talk about topics that are taboo.
So Dan thinks he's Rihanna and
Sticks and stones may break my bones,
but
whips
whipping
and
chains excite.
He must be over there like dancing and singing in his house.
Yeah, he said he was cleaning earlier.
Jamming.
So yeah, he's jamming it. He could be jamming it. Well, so I don't know. Long term entrapment. I don't think it's so much that part is. You guys are funny. Pretty funny. I love this. But yeah, look,
we have some comedians.
Honestly, this is my exploration to seeing what we do as far as like love and how we're going to explore it and share it even more. And I mean, come on, she didn't even
see her.
She didn't.
A little kitty with chain.
That's right. Our kitty has its gear on. So that's what I say. We're gonna swag up. We're gonna have swag on, and people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, that's so fly! How do I get a shirt? How do I get a cup? Or how do I get a cat with a chain?"
The chain
hoodie,
and a sweater.
and a hoodie on.
A hoodie.
It is a hoodie because it's cold. You gotta keep the cat warm. And don't take that out of context either. God.
You shouldn't have said that because he might not have been thinking anything. Oh my god!
Come on! Oh, LinkedIn is working.
Oh, it is.
Well, maybe he's not watching mobily, but hello, Mr. Randy House.
Hi, Randy.
Thank you for tuning in on LinkedIn land. I didn't know LinkedIn was working. I tried, and I've tried to comment mobily from my phone, and it just kept fucking up. And I did put in a comment on my post, and it didn't show up in the comments here. So I don't know. I just got frustrated with it. Said I'm just gonna keep going forward. I'll worry about all the other stuff afterwards, but it was frustrating for me as a live stream creator and creators in general. I trust me, I feel you whenever you have tech issues and it's out of your control. But that's life, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that an acronym for not an acronym?
It's what you do with it. So everything in your life could be total chaos and fall apart, but it's how you grow from that situation and how you learn from it. So I know a lot of people just give up. They just retreat and they give up completely. But it's real important when something like that happens that you just figure it out and you move on and you problem solve. Like, That's what I've had to do my entire life. And that's how I got to where I am today. But yeah, because I did not come from, I came from a broken family, and I did not, nobody ever, I didn't have private tutors, nothing like that. I had teachers that screamed at me, but I knew I needed to pass. And so I took it upon myself to take my books home and read them. Yeah, we had textbooks back then we had to carry around. Now they do not. But I took my book home, read it, Algebra 2, and figured it out on my own, and ended up with an A in that class. And so, yeah, when you have something that was that your
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened.
yeah, sometimes things happen in your life and you've just got to figure it out. So, but not everybody does. A lot of people just give up.
Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten to where, Randy, yes, I did. As a matter of fact, I just saw that comment here. Put your YouTuber link in the comments. It's already in there. So if you go to one of the comments on the post itself, it will say, head over to the Gabe Blue Experience on YouTube, and you can have and watch. I did it on Facebook, so I don't know. And then
He said something about failures. What did it say?
I've gotten to where I do YouTube due to the failures of LinkedIn and their comments. Yeah. Trust me, live streams at it. Yeah, I feel your pain.
Yeah.
Trust me, I tried to do it with Facebook. We tried to figure it all out. It just wasn't working.
Yeah.
So part of the reason why we started I got to spread it out to as many places, because I don't know if any of those places want to work, or any of those places literally are going to allow me to stream for whatever reason. And if it's tech issues beyond my control, then so be it. We'll just, I've never had this kind of issue with YouTube, so I kind of just trust it a little bit more and just say I'm glad I have a YouTube channel. So even if I want to go back and replay this or record it or even chop it up for later, I can do all those things. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool. And I don't know, maybe Randy's here. Randy, we're looking for show names. We're trying to come together with the concept of show name. We had a few good ones so far. So the intention of what we want to do,
Life, Love, and a Mic was
one. Life, Love, and a Mic is we're talking about love, and we want to have the intentionality of love behind what we do and what we share and what we create as creators here. So I think we want to incorporate the word love into our show name and show title. So if you have any thoughts or ideas or anything, please throw them in the comments. Feel free to. We've had a few that came in.
I feel like Love with Purpose. That
was one that we've had. So we're just exploring the idea of, just trying to come up with a show name, because we have so many other things that are going to be we're waiting upon to do other things for that to kind of start to formulate. So once we have the name, then we can start doing everything else, branding with colors, start creating promotions, start doing the promos, all the other stuff that I really need to start focusing on here in the next coming days. But the name is a sticky point. We got to get to. It's pretty sticky, but we'll get there. So, but glad you're here, man. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've actually had an audience that were like they have been tonight or today. Not tonight is mindset. Sorry.
Well, it's
like
kind
of evening.
O'clock.
Yeah, it's 4:50. It's nighttime somewhere.
Yes.
So yeah, we've been trying our best to make sure that we want to start doing this on a more regular schedule, and finding a time frame that's going to work, because
because I have a child full time, except every other weekend. And so when she is here, like she's not like Gabe's kids. She's going to be climbing all over my face. She'll be jumping in my face. She'll be trying to talk on the mic and say things and sing and whatever. She'll be all up in the camera, and she's 5, but she just loves the camera because she grew up watching people do shows. And so I want to make sure that she's asleep before we start. So I'm going to try. She needs her sleep anyways, and I always try to get her down like starting around 6:30. So once as she falls asleep, then we could probably do it after that.
Yeah. So
it's probably gonna be a little bit later.
later. Yeah. But that's fine. I think LinkedIn and I want to include LinkedIn because I thought not like
Not like Gabe kids. Heck, not like Gabe himself.
I thought you said not like Gabe's kids. So I guess he's essentially saying my kids do the same thing.
Oh.
Well, like Joaquin and them come walking.
Yeah,
through,
but they don't do it constantly. Like
yeah.
my daughter will be on the entire time.
Yeah, not like Gabe himself. Lemons, lovers, and lollipops.
Lemons, lovers, and lollipops.
Oh, that's kind of crazy. That's a good one. Well, everything's on the table. So we're definitely looking, like maybe next week to launch and seriously launch our first live stream. So that sounds a lot like a channel. Could be. But yeah, we're looking at a. I'm giving myself a deadline, so we can like have it set up for next week. That way, I can start creating promotions and events and have the YouTube page and everything else kind of set up and ready to go. And then in the meantime, we will still be coming on here. We will be live streaming because part of, like I said, part of it for me and even trying to get my, my beautiful co-host here in the groove of things is practice, like getting over and doing it again. She's starting to get better. Trust me, the first times that we started doing it, she was sitting there going, I didn't know when to interject or when to say. And I told her, you got to get in there and say something, baby. Still the mic sometimes because I will. You guys know me. I will talk until I'm blue in the face. I just continuously.
Not all the time in the house though.
No.
He does have times that he doesn't continue to talk.
Yeah, but you put a mic in front of me, it's a different story. Like I feel like, oh my God, I can't just sit here with a quiet mic. Like I can't watch, like honestly, I can't watch live streams where people just sit there for hours and not say anything.
Oh my God, have y'all seen the new TikToks where they just stand there?
Yeah, so
and stare at you, and then you give them like a rose, and then they're like da 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 da, and then they just go like this for a little while, like there's some game character. Oh my God, that is so freaky. Like I never imagined our world would come to this. Like now you're just like freeze in front of a camera and people watch it.
Yeah, so
they watch someone just stand there.
Yeah, literally.
How boring.
They're called that, and I learned this from my children. I didn't know what the heck they were.
They get paid for it.
They're called NPC lives, which means for non-controllable player. But they do it lives, and they just sit there and they just like do things like this, and they're just like
fond, warm, and love struck.
And they wait for you to pay them or to add a comment or to do something, and then when you do, like, oh, like she was doing.
Oh yes, I love the Black Mirror series, and yeah, it's like some of those are coming to fruition. Like it's oh my gosh, they're. I can't believe what people watch on TikTok, or just people just making their nails move or something, or people eating ice, like all those, was it AMSR or whatever?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I've never been into just watching people. That's just weird.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The ASMR videos, like they're kind of, some of them are nice. I can watch them. Like there's ones where they cut sand. She doesn't.
I saw it. It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. She doesn't like the grinding sound it makes when they use a knife.
Yeah.
They do one with magnets. I'm okay with that one. That one's, they just slide magnets and it just like makes a clicking sound. So I don't know. I'm okay with those. I again, but I can't watch it when it's somebody like a real part. Like there's an action going on with those in those videos though. That's the difference. Like people are pushing something, they're creating something, something is
see, I would rather do it myself, like putting together a puzzle. Like I would rather sit there and put the puzzle together or put the Legos together. I want to do that. I don't want to watch somebody else doing it.
No, which is why I don't understand the next generation where they just like our kids They watch other people playing games.
They watch other people doing it, but they don't do it themselves.
Yeah, like
It's so weird.
It's like people watching a live stream and not doing it themselves. I'm just kidding.
Oh, people eating food. I know. And some people, especially kids like that haven't learned yet, that eat smacking and with their mouth open. It is one of my pet peeves. I remember when I was pregnant and watched this other pregnant woman and we were sitting across from each other and she was just like smacking and opening her mouth. I almost threw up right on the table. Like, oh, I don't like that. You like it? You like watching people eat? Wait, I like that. I thought you said you didn't like it. Watching. You like what? What do you like? You like watching people on a live stream. Okay. Well, yeah, watching people on a live stream actually talk about a topic. That's interesting. That's not too bad. But just watching people do something without talking, without learning anything, I have to learn. Like for me, I'm just like, that's why I didn't like a lot of my jobs before, because I stopped learning. And it's one reason I became a teacher is because I like to learn. And so and there's never a dull day. Like every day you can learn something new. But watching other people and, hearing their stories and, something that you can relate to or talk about with your partner is interesting to me. But just watching it something, repetitive, no.
Okay, there's a good one.
Okay, so you do like watching people play games and watching people draw in color. Yeah, if it teaches you something, then that's good. But yeah, and some people do. They'll watch the games to learn how to play and make better moves and stuff. But yeah, for me, I don't know. I will play a game though. I like to play games sometimes.
Yeah.
But
yeah. God, this is what I love about live streaming, baby. Like the topic can start one way and the conversation. I think with the podcast, this is what we're both going to have to learn is that we become a little bit more linear. And what I mean by that is how we can go from one point to the other, and covering a lot of the topic at hands. And she realized last night when we were wrapping up and talking about everything, when we got off the air, that we'd been on for an hour, and she goes, God, we were already on for an hour. I said, it goes by fast, sweetheart. You don't realize it when you get on here and you start talking. Like, there are people that have to keep it really tight. I don't know how my friend used to do, my buddy Russ Johns used to do his live stream in 30 minutes. Like, it was hard to get to that point of me saying, man, even to get it to 40, 45 minutes for me was tough. So, Well,
I have to do 90-minute classes. So I have to keep going and doing activities and teaching my kids, for 90 minutes. So I'm used to going a little bit longer, but sometimes I do also think like, wow, the whole class is already over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have to. Yeah, I completely agree. There are times that you have to meditate or take time to yourself and to relax your brain. I 100% agree with that. I teach psychology, and that's one of the things I tell my students too. But for me, like what I prefer doing is listening to like meditative music, rain sounds. I like listening to nature, ocean waves. Sometimes somebody talking, like before I met Gabe, it was really hard for me to sleep. So I would always have to listen to those videos where they're talking to you and telling you to relax, and explaining like all these things to think about. And so I would listen to those.
What's better than 90-minute classes? 6-minute app videos. Okay. Thank you, Jaime. So Randy has jumped over to YouTube to help us out.
YouTubular thingy.
So he's come over to this side. I have a PhD in marriage and family therapy.
And my wife.
Oh, and your wife. Maybe we need to talk to your wife. Like, really? Maybe we need to have her on. Maybe she might come on as and this is part of it, is bringing in the community. We are going to want people who are part to participate, like whether or not they might send in a question that they might want answered, or a topic that we might discuss, or even have them come on as a guest. Like, we are planning I'm setting up a guest schedule of people to come on who are experts in their field or have an experience in it and something like that. And having someone who has a PhD in marriage and family therapy might be perfect to have onto the show and talk about it. And Randy, I don't think that would help though at all to have street pharmaceuticals though. It could, but going along the lines of having individuals come on and be able to talk about it and us having like really in-depth conversations about it. So when I say, but I'm good. I know you are, but we love you anyway, Randy. Love it anyway. So it's okay. It's okay. Look, that's the thing.
He said he married, Jaime said he married a woman with her PhD.
Oh, but I'm good.
So she has a PhD in marriage and family, or you just have marriage.
Yeah, you need clarification.
I'm working on my master's, and one of my classes is on marriage and family. So, I'll be taking that pretty soon.
Good. We're gonna dive deeper into a lot of these subjects, and we're gonna reach out to Street Pharma. There you go. We're gonna have on like guests to talk about again the other part about. She does. I have her. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. Well, maybe.
Maybe she wants to come.
Maybe we might have her come on. That might be a different thing to do. Have her come on. I have a marriage history. I can share what not to do. Say marriage. Proven results of what not to do. Or say okay.
That would be interesting. How long were you married, Randy?
So, well. Jaime says he's been married to the same woman for 18 years.
18 years. Okay. That's longevity there.
That is longevity. This is the things we want to explore. And that's why I said we're going to reach out to
tips, advice on how to, keep your marriage thriving, because a lot of times too long. Yeah, because there are some happy marriages. Like there's people that talk about how they were married for 50 plus years to their soulmate, and it was like, the best marriage of their life, and it's hard to live without them. And some people struggle, so Randy could share with us some things of what not to do. So there are, both sides that we can definitely explore.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, we're, like I said, we're exploring all aspects of it. And when I say like things like sex, that was one of them that I really wanted to dive deeper in. The intimacy levels, the colors don't allow us to see
the comments. Yeah. See how it's hard to read up there.
Oh yeah. On the restream.
We need to change the.
Yeah, I can change that. I got to go into Restream and do that, but thank you for the feedback. I did see these are things we want.
Yes,
we want these things.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy. But where was I going? Initial thought. Yes. So not only talking about things like what we were discussing, love, marriage, relationships, money, we're going to have people on who are financial experts, who are a couple. Like I'm excited to talk to Angelique and her husband, Donnell, that, they've been married for a while. They have kids. They've gone through the struggles of financial hardships. And then now they're out there doing it on their own and teaching people how to kind of dig themselves out of any kind of debt and financial troubles and setting themselves up for a good future. And I think that's one of the things we're going to be wanting to explore ourselves as we start coming together and eventually head to marriage and get to that point of where we're going to coexist with each other. And we have to have a lot of understanding about those things, because it has been I'm going to say it's been a thing that I failed at in my past. Honestly, I have. And that's the part of the opening up and vulnerability that I really need to share. So we're going to have experts on to talk about that, and we're going to have the everyday man who's going to come on and share, because I think there's a lot of power in hearing somebody share that they've been married for 20 plus years and how they're still getting still how they're still getting along. They still haven't found a way to strangle each other and still coexist and live in love. I think that's a big one, is living in love and being able to explore that after such a long time together. So yes, Couples need to be on the same page when it comes to finance. Absolutely.
Yes, I agree.
100%. That's is why we're going to go down that path.
Yeah, we haven't really gone there yet.
Yeah.
We kind of keep everything separate, and he does his own thing. I do my own thing, and it's working now. But eventually, yeah, we've got to start combining some things and
to
talking
get
about it.
Yeah, honestly, we do because it's crucial. I mean, when you start talking about building love, honesty, and trust, what bigger than allowing them to know what you do and how you spend money and those kind of things as well. I mean, they play a big part with in how you operate as a unit together and as a couple. So, and hey, that works for some people. I'm not saying that keeping it separate. I mean,
Yeah, I think it can still be separate but together.
But-
so like in my last marriage, our finances were fine. So what we did is we set up our accounts so that they could connect, but they weren't in one joint account. So we had a joint savings account that we could put money into to save. Yeah, he kind of pulled out a little money every now and then, but it was there. But we had our checking accounts totally separate. So when our checks came in, we had our own money to handle, and then we separated the bills. And so he paid certain bills and I paid certain bills. But then whatever was left over was kind of free for all. But we didn't really work on our savings part of it. So that was one thing that we could have worked on and did better was savings. But checking accounts, we always kept separate.
So, well, to Randy's point, I will always maintain my own checking account no matter what.
That's what I did before.
I think that's as I said, it's a different world than what we grew up in, and how people everything had to be like in the same thing, and the wife manages the finances and the guy go out and makes the money, and like all things that are like in the past, that how they don't quite operate the same as we do anymore. And even having a one-sided person where they handle all the finances and everything else, I mean, that's why people fall prey to like, he or she was in charge of the money in the checking account, and when they left, they took it all with them, and I didn't know how much to spend, and I didn't know. I mean, I think you do have to be aware of all these things in your life. I think you have to pay attention to those things, like managing your finances. Yeah, it's good to have a couples goal. We do want to discuss that as well, like where we want to see ourselves in like 25 years after our kids are grown up and we are eventually empty nesters. Like
It'll be sooner than 25 years.
Yeah, it is. Well,
13, at least 13 years will be
13.
Empty nesters. Yeah.
So see, look at this. See, thank you, Randy.
See, okay. So you have a hell of a story to tell based on trusting someone to take care of the bills. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that that has to be like kind of on the same page, like knowing that the bills are paid for and taken care of.
Yeah.
So yeah, and making sure that they are. But yeah, that's one thing for me. Like I always took care of almost all the bills. And so they just come out automatically out of my account, and then I pay for some other ones. But I just got used to it. I've been paying bills since I moved out of my mama's house when I was 18. So I've been, basically taking care of myself and paying for things, a lot of it on my own since I was 18. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I've got pretty good credit too.
Good.
So.
And this is where, like I said, we're gonna open up. We're using ourselves as an example of like how to explore and do these things together, because I think that people have difficulty like understanding what that is, and like when you start merging together a life with somebody and plan on spending a lifetime with them, these are the things that are pretty important to have a full understanding of, and also being very transparent with your partner. I think this is why like I love the couples thing is I love the couples thing because it really holds each one of us accountable to the other. And I think when you start taking that away and you start not allowing yourself to share those sort of those sort of things in your life, yeah, it can start opening the doors to being secretive, and
Oh yeah.
that can start causing, issues in a relationship. So,
Yeah, and Gabe is slowly, I mean, not slowly, he's been pretty vulnerable and opening up to me. But he struggles sometimes, and so he's been able to kind of share a little bit, and open up about it. But I went into it like some people are like, "Oh, you better check their credit record before you date them." Make sure that they have bank, make sure they have money, make sure that they're well off. Like there's a lot of people and women that have checkoff lists to make sure that they are, can take care of themselves and they have money and all of this before they establish a relationship. And for me, I was like, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a person that I can communicate with, somebody that I can be with, somebody that like I know I can grow with, no matter what. And so, Gabe told me, and I was like, okay, well, yeah, that's fine. We'll work with it. Any way I can help, like we'll work together. We'll work as a team.
again, that it's why I knew that I loved her, and I was able to, like, honestly just open up about me, myself, and my life, and put everything, all my trusting in her hands. I feel totally comfortable with her. So yeah, I am 12. Oh my God. I am 12 cents shy of a billionaire.
I
So
thought you were married, Randy.
I'm not looking for any responsibility. But I love the comment he shared before that. So he said, if you can share your story to save someone else the grief of what you've experienced, good deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's why I share my experiences with my students. Like, and I had a feedback form at the end of the school year, where I asked them, like, input, tell me how it went. What did you like? What did you not like about my teaching? Because I like the feedback so I can grow. Maybe there's something I'm doing that they don't like that I need to work on and change. Maybe there's something that I'm doing that's good that I need to keep doing. And so one of the things that they shared was like, we're happy that you are yourself, that you share us who you are. Keep doing that. Don't stop sharing your personal stories. And some people think, oh, well, they're too scared to share anything about their life. Like it's private. They put up this wall. I'm the teacher. You're the student. Do this work. Let's work on this activity. That's all we have time for. But for me, it's life. And so I share a part of who I am with my students. And I tell them the struggles that I've gone through so that they can either relate or understand that there is other paths you can take. You don't have to, just because you go through this situation or you think, oh, this can never happen to me. Yeah, things can happen. Life happens. But how do you get through the struggles? And I've been able to talk to students that have been so low, so down, had to go to a mental institutions. And I talk to them and tell them, you know what? Your story is real. You're struggling now, but the power that you're going to have later on is immeasurable. You'll be able to help somebody else because you've been there, you've gone through it, and it's rough now, but things are going to get better. Things will get better.
Yes, it will. I love it.
Yeah, I don't tell them certain stories. There's definitely some that I'm not really super proud about, but there's some that, I can share that I do. And so one of them, and I'll share with you now, is I have bipolar disorder. And so it's not something that I grew up having. I didn't get it in my 20s, 30s. It wasn't until I was 40 and COVID hit and so much stress came down on me and I got triggered. Went into my first mania. And so I had to go and be, sent to a mental hospital. And then I came down and I was in the worst depression of my life, and so me opening up and sharing about that in itself has made other kids that struggle with mental health come to me and ask for advice or tell me their story or open up. And I tell them, like, listen, just because you have this, it doesn't define you. It doesn't make you that person. That's why I don't have it on my LinkedIn page. as a title saying I have bipolar disorder. Like, I don't just throw that out there because it's not something that defines me. It's something that I have. But just because you have it doesn't limit you to certain things. And that's what I thought initially. Thought, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Now I'm never going to find love again. I'm never going to be able to be a teacher. I'm not, I just thought the worst. I didn't think that I could go on, and I had dark thoughts. And so, but I passed through that and I was able to turn my life around and not only continue teaching, but then go back to school and work on my master's. Not only stay single and be by myself, but find an amazing man that I can share my life with. So just because you go through struggles in life doesn't mean that's going to define you and make you that person for the rest of your life. And you'd be surprised, so many people like online, they'll use it as a crutch, use it as a disability, say that they can't function because they have this disorder or any disorder for that matter. But you can. Your mind is so powerful and you can work through it. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes a lot of times it takes God's strength, but you can get through it. You can move on, and you can change your life and your path.
Doesn't she have though a pretty powerful story? I think that's one thing that we're gonna also explore at some point is just sharing the things that she's gone through.
Good question. And that's what a lot of people are like, don't tell them, wait. Like, I have a cousin that also has it, and he did not tell his partner until it was a year later. And I said, dude, why did you wait so long? Like, seriously, he was afraid that his boyfriend would leave him.
Yeah.
And I was like, like, I'm not gonna wait that much time because I feel like you're not being real. You're not being your genuine self. So I didn't tell him on day one. I wanted him to know who I was first. But it was about after we were chatting already for about a week or so.
Yeah.
I think it was about a week into it, maybe. And I told him, like, I was on the phone. I wanted to tell him in person because I like to, tell people in person too. But I don't ever say it over like through a text. Or through chatting. I like to say it so I can hear their reaction or see their reaction, because I want to make sure that they're okay with it, and two, like, if it freaks them out or scares them, I'm fine with that. I'm cool with it. Like, there's somebody for everybody. And so I told him in about a week, and he, like, his response was incredible. Like, he praised me for everything that I had accomplished and who I was. And, he just was impressed. He was more impressed. And so that was a very different answer than I had gotten from any other guys. Most of the guys I told, because I was doing online dating, most of the guys I told, they were like, oh, okay. So I know somebody that has it. Oh, my ex had that. Oh, yeah, I kind of know about that. And they would talk to me for a few more dates and then eventually either ghost me, or sometimes it would turn into a short-term relationship. But it never, like, I never got a really good answer. Like, with Gabe's answer, that blew me away. And not only that, the next day he goes, oh, look, check out this audiobook I bought. And he sent it to me and it said, loving someone with bipolar.
Yeah. So I literally, and I was very transparent from the very beginning, honestly, because I feel like I had to be like, hey,
me too.
I'm a father of 4 kids. I'm like, 4 kids already. That's already like a hard pushing point for even some women to even fathom. And then secondly, I was like, hey, I'm in social media. Like, I do all these things online, and I always wanted to be just very open about who I was, and what I was about. So when she shared that to me, it was pretty incredible. I'm like, wow, you've done all those things. That's pretty freaking awesome. As a matter of fact, that you went through so many things and yet you flourished. Like, to me, that's a badge of honor that you should be wearing, not something that you should be worried about, like, not communicating to somebody. So I know, for me, it was very easy to say, yeah, that's no big deal. To me, honestly, it wasn't a big deal. To me, it was just, okay, it's just part of who she is. Okay. Trust me, there's far worse things that somebody could mention or say to you that you would be like, oh my God, just blown it back by. Like, I was just like, okay, this is cool. If this is part of it, I would rather know about it now and then learn what it is that I need to do to kind of, if it ever shows itself or I have to like deal with it, to be mentally prepared myself. So yeah, it was no issue at all. And it's like,
Yes, Randy, I agree. If you want to know about something, you have to study it. And that's what I was impressed with, because there were very few people that when I came down with this disorder that actually picked up a book and read about it. Very few. One of them was my stepdaughter, who she passed away in 2021 from COVID. But she did. She picked up a book and she read it, and she knew how to talk to me. She knew how to interact with me. She didn't trigger me when I was in a mania. Like, she knew how to like still love me, even though I had something wrong with me. And at the time, I didn't feel like anyone would. But she did. She did. So there's very few people that understand that, and my daughter Lena did. And Gabe did. So that was
Oh, and like I said, I knew this woman was special from very early on. So when she started to share and open up, that to me was the key to opening up, like how, you know, uh, to me, that was the open book that I had been looking for. Like the person that could share that and be very open with me and be honestly transparent to the point of where she's opening up so quickly to me. I was so happy that I had found a woman to love like her, that I was like, okay, I almost knew she has to be the one for you, Gabe. She has to be. Like, so honestly, anything and everything after that was nothing, was a drop in the bucket. It was easy for me to say, okay, this is just who she is. Like, for me, this is what I get to do, and what's sharing her with you guys. I'm going to tell you the truth. The reason that I wasn't on live streaming, the reason I wasn't like here all the time, and the reason that I wasn't like more present in 2023 is because I wanted to selfishly keep her to myself and learn more about her, because I knew the moment that I started to introduce her to the audience and to everything else that, I was also sharing her out to the world with people. And, selfishly, I was like, well, I'm not ready for that. And I've told her a few times, like, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to give our time away yet. So yeah, it took a little bit longer, but hey, at a point I knew that we had to start doing this, is when I started to say, okay, it's time to bring her into my world. And I was always I was always knew from very early on that she was the one for me. I mean, I was the first one to tell her I loved you. I was the first one. I was the first one to kiss her. Like the night that we met for the very first time in person.
that threw me. He's like walking, smiling, and I'm like, hi. And he just comes up, and I thought he was gonna hug me, and then here comes a kiss, and I was like, oh, thank God he knows how to kiss.
We learned a lot of things very early on, and we kind of learned how that was. It kind of almost set the tone for how we were going to be as a couple, and it's one of the things that I knew. Yeah.
And thank you, Jaime, for saying that about Lena. I appreciate that.
Oh, Maria, thank you for. I'm sorry that check this out online. Haven't missed it yet. We're still live. Oh, she's commenting from Facebook.
Yeah.
So
is Facebook working?
No, it's not working, but she saw the comments from the post because she was probably on Facebook.
Oh.
So we are still live. If you have it over YouTube or LinkedIn, possibly you could probably come over and join us. We are still live. But as a
Maybe
matter of
you
fact,
should
I'm
send her a
gonna
message.
text her right now. I do have Maria's number. Maria's a
Okay.
good friend.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Hold on. Yeah, you can have. Go back down. Scroll down.
Okay. Thank you, Randy, for saying that.
Oh.
He said, I knew why the first time you shared her, your eyes glowed, and it wasn't the reflection from your lighting. That's funny. Yeah, there's people that see us sometimes, and they always like make little comments about us, and positive ones, and then especially when we're wearing our matching shirts, they're like, oh, "There goes the Bucky's couple."
There goes you
So
guys.
yeah, we have 4th of July ones, we have these, we have New Year's, so we need to get a couple others.
More, but honestly, this was like just this is why I told her. She's like, "What are we going to talk about?" Like today when we were discussing these things.
I'm a teacher. I like to be prepared.
She does. And I will. Like I showed her, I can do a build out, and I can do a production, and I can come up with all an outline and talking points and topics to discuss. But
what he said made sense.
But one of the things that I did say was like, you know what? I think today we are going to allow like what we learn in church and our sermon and what God has to present to us today. It's going to fill us into what we're going to discuss. And guess what happened? We go to church and what did he talk about? Our pastor starts talking about love, and I just look at her and I go, okay, this is what we got to do.
We got to talk about love.
So, that was the big point of why I was like, sometimes it's good to be prepared. It's good to have like what she has to do in her class and have lesson plans and things kind of lined up. Then there's other times where sometimes the free flow of conversation allows so many things to come out that, you just understand to go with the flow. I did this when I started doing, I was very prepped when I started doing live streaming. I had page layouts, I had profile build outs, I had all these things ready to go. I knew things about my guests. I'd watched other podcasts, other interviews I'd done, other things. I wanted to have different questions whenever I had somebody on, other than the normal ones that they usually get from any other random interview that they had done in their past. I wanted to be a little bit different, so I over-prepared. I would rather be over-prepared for things than under-prepared, so part of me was always like, okay, I got to have all these things in front of me. Then I started to learn part of it is like have the preparation, but also allow for the free flow of conversation to happen. Because so many good things, come out when you're in the middle of a conversation. Like there are talking points you hear that you're like, oh my God, let's explore that a little bit more. So yeah, there to me, it was why I said this morning, we're going to let, I'm going to use this term. It makes me laugh, but the old Jesus take the wheel. So we let Jesus take the wheel today. And he's like, okay, I'm just going to steer you guys over here back to love. So
yes, I think it was a sign, Randy, and I don't think there's such a thing as coincidence either.
So yeah. And to me, it was one of why like.
And thank you for the comment, Yolanda, too.
Thank you, Yolanda, for being here. I love it. But one of the things that I did want to make mention of very quickly is the fact that whenever like I initially thought of this concept to talk about love, I only thought I was going to be doing it by myself. I thought by myself, because I need to understand love. Doing it with a partner is going to be different, and it's going to be a wonderful love learning experience.
I like being his partner.
Yes. And part of it was like, hey, she's like, when we were talking about how often are we going to do this, or like the live streams and everything else, I said, well, baby, honestly, how I've always done it in the past, and it can change. I'm not sold on anything, but I was like, I've learned it by doing this and just talking and learning how to banter and learning to build a chemistry is what we're actually doing right now. We'll know how to,
because we can talk like, I mean, it's super easy to talk to him. We talk all the time.
It's like, now how do we do it on camera? That's
That's just the difference. So yeah, we're figuring it out because I don't like interrupting people, especially if they're talking professionally or anything. And so he's in the mic. I mean, he was saying this earlier, but he was talking and I didn't say a whole lot because I didn't know when to jump in because he kept talking. And so he told me that he doesn't like dead air. And I said, it's okay to stop for a second. Like, it's okay. So that's when I jump in now, is when he takes a little breath or like his half a second.
Exactly. Like, she's going to learn pretty quickly. And before she knows it, she's going to be an expert at coming on here and doing these things. It's just part of practice. And when you do it so many times, it starts becoming natural. And like even now, she hasn't been watching, but I've been catching the moments like she sees an opportunity and goes in and starts doing it without me even telling her sometimes. Like, there are times I tell her, hey, can you banter for a minute? Like we did at the beginning of the show. Sorry, like an hour and a half ago. Yeah, when we first started. But like, she's getting better.
I picked it up.
Yeah, she's picking it up, and it's just become repetition. It's a muscle memory, and for those who've never done it, it's learning what that muscle is. Like, you got to work that muscle in and get it. That's why I say we're doing these things over and over and over again. We'll be able to come back to our very first episode of doing this as a couple and go back, and we can have laughs and giggles and go, damn,
yes,
we were
and
bad.
when we were like, dang, that we were fluffy. Because we're on a diet right now. I already lost 10 pounds. Gabe lost 8. So it's working. I have more to lose than him.
Yeah, I do.
So, but yeah, we're on this great diet and it's working really well for both of us. So we are going to stick to it. And so, yeah, we're going to be like, we're going to be smaller when we look at it.
Well, and this is a good way to chronicle that. You'll be able to go back. And I love going back now and watching my older videos because it shows me how much I've come along in growth and in learning from when I first started. And I go back for a reason because I have to constantly remind myself. And he talked about this in church, reminding yourself of the things you have to put first and the things that you have to learn. This is part of it for me, is like, I know how to do this. Now I'm doing this again with a partner. So I'm learning it all over again. It's a new process, whether or not, I might be a little bit more skilled at certain things at this juncture, but it's going to be a learning curve for both of us. And I'm looking forward to figuring that out and having this experience, with Yvette, because I've always wanted to collaborate, and I talked to other creators and collaborating. I just never knew how to actually do it. So this is actually putting me in the place of something that I've longed for and yearned for a while. And now it's going to be on the regular. And I'm happy that I get somebody that now my ideas and the things that we discuss and her ideas and what she can discuss.
Oh my God. That is one of the number one best things that I love about our relationship is that we can brainstorm together and bounce ideas off each other. And we just go and it's like, okay, I got another one and another one. And we just talk about it. I've never in my life done that in any relationship I've ever been in. So it's something new and fun. And I love it. So one thing I really love about our relationship. But that's great, Randy. I saw his comment pop up over there. He lost 5 pounds after gaining 10. So good job. It is a lot easier to gain than it is to lose. So good job on that.
Yeah, there, way to go. Look at there. I gained 10 pounds over the
Yeah.
So you got 5 more to hit back to even keel.
Yeah, I gained like over 30 after meeting Gabe.
Yeah, me, both of us. Trust me. I go back and watch like some of my other videos from just over a year ago, and I know that I've like added love weight, and that's one thing we're going to discuss too at some point is love weight. Because I think that's I love that too. When we disagree. We do what I say. Best thing ever. No, but we again, we are actually in a place now where we're ready to start exploring even more about ourselves and then about our relationship. So yeah, the diet thing is one thing because it's part of, like I said, there's always 5 pillars that I look at. 5 pillars that I look at life whenever I go back, and it's my health, right? Health is important. You got to have it. Your finances is another one. You have to, be able to understand where you are, what you spend, because it can be crumbling. Your spirituality, your faith, the things that you are important in your life. Then your emotional and your mental state. When your emotional state is how your mental health is, where you are. Your emotional state is your learning, your things that you're doing to continue to evolve. I mean, all those things playing it. So I look at those 5 things, and I was always like, when she said, "Hey, let's work on our health," I was like, absolutely. That is just one of the pillars. We started going to church together. I had already been going, but it's been better going with her. I know that I've opened up a lot more by going to church and meeting people there as well. So my spirituality is moving in that direction. Again, and then working on things like our emotional health, our mental health, all those things are something that we're both now looking at in our financial health. Those are the next pillars that we're going to go forward with and learn to move past the things in our relationships that we've done and that we're trying to learn to not do, to repeat. Excuse me, I couldn't get that out. I was looking for the word repeat.
A lot of people, in the beginning when a new year starts, they set all these New Year's resolutions. But one of the things that they fail to do is the process, the steps. Like you can always set a goal and say, oh yeah, like I want to lose weight, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But then how are you going to get there? You have to have a plan. You have to have your steps, and you have to go through them. And if you don't put them into action, it's never going to happen. And if you don't have the mindset, it's never going to happen. So I spent over a month building that mindset of losing. I told all my students, I said, guys, listen, y'all can't be giving me no more candy after the first. Okay. So I might have some candy for you, but you cannot have any candy from me. And so, I can't have any candy from you. So I was like, on the first, I'm starting. They're like, one kid was like, why don't you just start now? And I said, no. I said, the holidays are coming. I want to eat whatever I want. I want to eat all kinds of good food that's bad for me, because my mindset is not there yet. But it's going to be there on January 1st. I know it will be because I'm pumping myself up for that date. So I had to make the plan. I had to have my mindset. And then I knew on the 1st, nothing was going to stop me. I was going to have my food ready. We were going to start. And I said, and thank God that Gabe wanted to do this with me, because it is the biggest struggle when you're married and one of you wants to go on a diet, but the other one doesn't. And they're like, I don't know why you're eating that. It's like, this is so much better for you. Eating, the bad food. And so, he wanted to do it with me, and he has that mindset too of wanting to be healthy. So I thought that was incredible. And so, yeah, we've been at it since January 1st in the morning. We eat our breakfast, we have a snack, we have a lunch, we have a snack, we have dinner. And what's great on this diet is you get a dessert too. And so I learned how to make this new recipe with this really good dessert with ricotta cheese. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So you just take a little bit of ricotta cheese. It's like a little less than a cup. You put it in a bowl or a plate or whatever. And then you can add and it's low fat ricotta cheese. You put a little bit of mocha powder or cocoa powder.
Cocoa powder.
Yeah, cocoa powder, the unsweetened. You add a Splenda to it. Then you add vanilla extract and mix it all together. You can add a couple of chocolate chips to it, or you can add a few almonds to it. You sprinkle a little bit of espresso powder on the top, mix it together, and it is so good. It's really good. So I had that, and you can eat that like every day if you want to for your dessert, or you can change it up. So there's different dessert options that you can have, and there's never been a diet that said, yeah, eat dessert. So yeah, we started doing that, and I've already lost 10 pounds. Gabe lost 8 pounds. We haven't checked again today, but from one day to the next, I lost 3 pounds. So I was like, oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to wait a little bit before I check the scale again, just so I can see what I weigh in 2 weeks, because that's going to probably blow me away too. So yeah, it's been really good.
It's been a wonderful. So I'm finally in. I'm going to take a break from taking down Christmas decorations. I did that. Oh, look, I got that done in 2 days. I took down all the outside decorations, all the inside decorations. I really pushed myself to get all that stuff put up, because I know I wanted to get my gear out, get live streaming and get going, because I was getting excited. Honestly, this gets me excited to do this again. And especially doing it now with her. My problem is that in my own experiences in my past is that I had struggles with being able to share what it is that I do as a creator, and opening up and saying, I can do these things. Now it's like we're doing it together, so we can discuss it and we can kind of go, okay, let's do this. And not only that, it gives me a point of saying accountability, because I know myself. I can overdo it. I know I've done it multiple times. I've done it multiple times where I've overdone it. So like even having somebody now to say, hey, maybe we should like pare down our days, or hey, we can do more. Or maybe, we maybe just need to change and shift when we do them. So I'm glad that I got somebody who now I can bounce it off of and say, okay, maybe this is what we're going to do. I'm excited. Yes. I'm excited for
I'm excited for Valentine's too. When we were at the Goodwill today, I was like, is there any Valentine's Day decorations? I was looking around because I like to save money by thrifting, and so it is he. So that's really cool. But yeah, they had some bunnies, but yeah, there was nothing real cute. So
that's another one. That's a mouthful
probably
though.
Dollar Tree.
Goober and God sent love, chat.
That was my brother's nickname when he was a kid. Oh, he hated it. My dad would be like, Goober. And so we were kids and we'd be like, hey, Goober. And so we called him Goober for years. Oh my God. When he got older, I think he started knocking us out like unconscious when we would call him that. So we finally stopped.
So I haven't celebrated in about 5 years or so. Well, it's time to celebrate again.
Yes. I threw an anti-Valentine's Day party. Whenever I was single back in my 20s, I was like, I hate love. And so I did all everything was black. I made sure only single people were invited. Like there was no love. And there was a guy that showed up that I invited, and he freaking brought me roses and was like, here, happy Valentine's. And I was like, no, you should not come. You were not supposed to bring me flowers. And so we ended up dating for a little while, but yeah, that didn't work out. But he tried. But yeah, I used to not, but now I love, even when I'm not with somebody, I still love Valentine's.
Nowadays, since we're all in this world of being woke, they actually call that, instead of calling it Valentine's Day or anti-Valentine's Day, they call it Singles Awareness Day. Which is, I was like, oh my God. Singles
Awareness Day. You don't have to be with somebody to enjoy Valentine's Day.
You don't have to be with somebody to enjoy love.
Like,
this is the whole point.
I used to give like all my female friends and like my mom and my siblings like just roses, from love from me, and my students, I actually do Valentine's Day cards in the classroom. Even the boys, I have them making them too. So I bring all these Valentine's Day paper and stickers, and I teach high school kids like up to seniors. But I bring all these supplies, glitter, everything, and they make these cards it has to be to a sociology word or a psychology word, or it could be to a sociologist or to a psychologist, but it has to rhyme. It has to be cute, and it has to be decorated, and they have a ball with it. And we talk about like love from a sociological viewpoint and from a psychological viewpoint.
Yeah, it almost brings me back to the days when we were younger. We always used to create like little mailboxes so we could share Valentines with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, doing that in elementary school and stuff.
Yeah, but then it goes away when you get to high school,
right? And then
so I bring it back.
so I love Maria's comment. I'm terrified with I was terrified with Valentine's before. It was awkward for me. I don't know how to turn down I didn't know how to turn down a date when I was a lot younger. So now she's just saying now, though, she's no longer younger. It's just I'm just young now, though. So, so thank you for. And then she always says, I always go out on girls. I always go out on girl dates. I have different celebrations for people that I love. So, that's great. And love is profound. It doesn't. Again, we're talking about couples and that sort of thing, but this is, again, another topic that we can bring up, and I love it. So I can go back and take notes off of the stream here. But that we can take notes and talk about, hey, maybe the love is just beyond that as well.
Yes, and it's infinite. Love is infinite, and it never stops growing. Like, you can continuously grow your love. Just make it stronger, better, more knowledgeable. Like, it keeps growing. And then when you have it, you can't lose it. You have it to share, and you can't share it unless you have it. So you share your love. And you don't have to share. And a lot of people think, oh, there's a lot of bad in the world. There's a lot of bad people. Like, why would I want to share my love with anybody else but the person I'm dating? That's it. No, you can share your love with other people in anything that you do. You can share it at the grocery counter line, just having a conversation with somebody, being nice to them. Love can keep, and then it's a ripple effect. The more you share it with other people, the more they want to share it with somebody else. And so love just kind of keeps going out there. But, a lot of people, just cover it and just want to keep it to themselves, and they don't want to share it. But it's so important to share what you have too. Don't just keep it to yourself.
Absolutely not. So, all right. I think as we kind of get close to the 6:00 hour, we can start slowly wrapping up in here because we have a little one that's supposed to be showing up here pretty soon.
What time is it?
It's 5:48.
Let me see if he's texted me.
Maybe not. We don't know. He
hasn't texted me yet.
Okay, so we're still good. We can go a little more. But we do have our meals too as well. Was the time to? No, and the thing is, we're going to make this a more frequent thing going forward into the next couple of weeks. So you will be seeing a lot more of this face and that face and both of us together. And
yes, Maria, I'm back to school tomorrow. I'm so excited. I get new students. I'm going to have some of them I might have had last semester, but I'm going to have students for sociology and psychology. And so I like my breaks because they give me a chance to kind of decompress, think about things, just be lazy. But then once the school year starts up again, I want somebody here.
No, it's Lucas.
Okay. Yeah. Once the school year starts, that's my brother, my daughter's boyfriend. I almost said my brother. My daughter's boyfriend, Lucas. Yeah, but once the school year or the semester starts up again, I start to get excited. And so, yeah, I'm getting pumped for tomorrow. Going to be able to meet some new babies, new kiddos that I'll be hopefully inspiring.
That's right. And, now she's got more things. Hello.
Maria says, hello, Lucas and daughter.
I don't know
if Skylar walked past too?
No, just Lucas. Okay, she's the same for both. Okay, but yes, we're getting.
So, do you teach too, Maria?
We're getting excited. That's how I feel. I'm pumped. Good. I'm pumped now that I'm going to be doing this too. Again, back at creating and being a part of the lovely community. Excuse me, that supported me for so long. Absolutely, I'm excited again to share and talk about it and explore the wonderful world of love and what it is we're going to be discussing. Because again, it might not seem at the very beginning of like where we're starting out that we're going to have like all these different topics, and it's going to be strange in the beginning because we are going to be a little bit more I don't know, formal.
Yes, Jaime, we're still live, but that's funny. So you're pumped because your kids are going back to school. I see.
There you go. Good. Still alive. Yes, we're still alive. Yep. But no, but we honestly, part of the reason why I've just been like having a big smile on my face these last few days is because I know that once we start doing this and getting involved, the way that we, start committing ourselves and the time and the conversations between us are going to start being even better and more open. And we're just going to find ways to kind of just share things with each other. And I love this. It's going to bring this to light. So yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, I love the fact that it's real. This is real talk. This is really us. We're not hiding behind anything. We're being who we are. We're real. And that's what I love about teaching is I'm myself. I don't try to put up a wall or a front or put on a performance or a show. Like I'm down to earth, real with my students. But thank you for that comment, Maria, about saluting teachers and the patience we get. Is a lot of it comes from what is all that noise?
I think Nene's here.
Oh, a lot of the patience that we get is knowing. I think my daughter's home. Is knowing that everybody struggles, and just because somebody treats you a certain way, just because a kid is a challenge, does not mean that they don't like you. It's because they could be having certain issues and things going on, in their own lives. And so you can't just like treat them terrible just because they act, they're acting out. You got to love them regardless. And so I love them all. Even my little stinker that's come here, baby. Come here.
Come on.
She just came back from her dad's house. It's the vlog, baby. You want to come look at the vlog?
So yeah.
You look so cute.
Say hello.
This is my 5-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
You want to say hi into the mic? You gotta say
Hi.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Unconditional love. You have to love them no matter what. It's one reason I loved being a mom, why I wanted to have another kid, even in my 40s, and people thought I was crazy. Because I like to love unconditionally.
Hey, we got another guest.
We have another guest. Oh, this is my other daughter, Cheyenne. You haven't met they haven't met Cheyenne
No.
yet.
Here, hold this.
This is Cheyenne. You got to poke your head in.
Oh. Hello.
Speak into it like you're making love to it.
No.
That's what. So we got. Well, I got. There's different people.
We're on different streaming.
So we're
services.
like on 5 different streaming platforms. So we're on. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and where else?
You gotta talk
Twitch.
in there when you tell me.
Twitch. Yeah. So multi-streaming.
My daddy put on shoes with
hold on.
no sock on. It hurts my back
Okay,
and
now
my
talk.
foot.
Okay, take off your shoes. Hi, Jonathan. Yeah, so my daughter is usually very bashful, but she likes the camera. So
What am I supposed to say?
Anything you talk, you say anything.
What are your ideas and thoughts on love? What do you think love's about? What's your definition of love?
Don't freeze up. You got
I'm just thinking. I don't know. A forever.
Yeah, Skylar had one yesterday.
What would you say, Cheyenne? A forever what?
A forever friend.
A forever friend.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that.
Company to keep you company and happy. Travel with.
Mm-hmm.
Experience.
Where did you get to go and travel with your honey?
Japan.
Japan. What was? Hold on, we have a little emergency.
What happened?
I think the dog might have attacked her. Let me see.
No, the cat.
Oh, the cat. Okay, we gotta go.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta go.
All right. This is the pandemonium that can happen.
Yes. Yeah, the cat clawed her.
Uh-oh. We got to have emergency.
Yes.
All right, folks. I think that's been long enough. We've almost been on for 2 hours. So,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I think it is a time to say bye. All right,
Yes.
folks.
Bye, everybody.
We will be back soon. No, you
Yes.
guys know what it is. So, we'll catch you on the flip side. So,
All
bye.
right.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.